It was less than a year ago that Wet Leg released their debut album. A little more than that when we first met them with Chaise Longue. In that time, they've blown up, hit #1 on the album charts, won 2 Grammys, 2 Brit Awards, and fans all over the world, including Harry Styles. Back in Australia supporting Harry in his stadium shows, I invited Rian and Hester to Take 5. I wanted to hear from the sources themselves about their wild year. There's a beautiful fandom that runs throughout this chat. They're true music lovers who really relish the chance to speak about the songs and the artists they love. They're also a duo whose on-stage persona is a lot louder than off. But stay with this. They're funny as hell too. And as it often does, the Take 5 opened up some beautiful moments with Wet Leg. Before we got into their choices, I asked them about this Harry tour and whether they saw much of a crossover of fans in the crowd.
Yeah, because Harry covered one of our songs, so that one kind of gets sung back at us quite a bit, and I think people sing along to Chaise Longue a bit. I don't know, it's all like, it's quite funny playing to like such a big crowd. I never really notice what's actually going on, but people seem to look happy. So
what's the view like for you guys to be looking out onto those crowds and seeing all those faces?
It's very surreal, because when you go in the middle of the day and you get set up and sound check, and it's just this big vast space, and you're just like trying to imagine it filled with people, and what you imagine is never like as vivid as like obviously the real thing. Obviously it's not as vivid, but you just, even though I can like see the space and imagine it filled with people, then when it is like filled with people, it's a shock. It's a nice surprise.
It's a lot of humanity in front of you too, isn't it? Just the volume of people in front of you. That's a lot of faces to be looking out at in a really beautiful way, I think.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
And then like sometimes when they get like the phone lights going and everyone's got like their little torches and they're waving them, it's just like, it's really cool. There's really like, there's nothing quite like it.
Yeah.
I never thought that we'd get to experience that standing on a stage. I've definitely like always enjoyed being part of a crowd and looking around me and like, wow.
And we're kicking off with an artist out of Dublin called cmat. Actually loving this artist on Double J. It feels like a lot of people are talking about cmat at the moment. Rian, this is your pick. Why did you choose this song, I Don't Really Care For You?
I chose this song by this artist because for me, any song by cmat represents the first festival that we played at. That was, it's funny that you mentioned about everyone going back to music and gigs like after the lockdown, because this was the first time I saw cmat was at Latitude, in 2021. And I remember just like people telling me about her and talking about her and listening to her music, and then like all of a sudden you're like let loose at a festival, and like all of this music that you've been listening to in the past like couple of years, like suddenly the people that have made it just materialize in front of you, and suddenly everything's back, but it's all new, but it's all old, and
all of those obsessions coming to life in front of you. What a dream.
Yeah.
I really love cmat's style as well, in particular her ways with melody. She's an artist who has got a great way with words. Have you, we've only just been meeting her on Double J in the last few months or so. Have you been following her career for a long time?
I guess probably only from like 2019 or something. I was tipped off about her.
Yeah.
She's really cool. Yeah, I really love her lyricism as well. She's a fantastic lyricist. And she's also a really cool person as well. She's really nice.
Isn't that nice when you meet people that you love their music and they end up being really good people?
It's the best.
It's so good to have you guys back in the country and settling in with us here on Double J. I know that you visited Triple J last year to do Like a Version. And I mean, in that time since, it kind of feels like so much life has happened in the world, but also in your careers. I mentioned the Grammys earlier. The ceremony only happened just a couple of weeks ago. What was that experience like, being in that room in Los Angeles with all of these wild musicians, past, present and future, surrounding you? What did that feel like for you guys?
Magical.
Did you see people that you'd have been obsessed with since you're a little kid and sort of go, they're just in the room, they're over there?
I guess Beyonce is definitely like an ethereal being that we never expected to be in the same room as. Lizzo, yeah.
Did you make any new friends on the night?
We met Amy from Emil and the Sniffers.
Oh, wow.
I really wanted to meet her last time we were here.
She's a firecracker.
Honestly, I only met her for like 30 seconds, but like she just gave me the biggest hug and I felt like I was meeting like an old friend that I hadn't seen in ages.
Yeah.
Like she was such good vibes, but it was quite late in the night and I had to like go home soon after that. But it was the highlight of my night. I was just giving her a hug. This is going to make me sound so creepy now if she listens back to this, because she's like, we met for like 30 seconds.
I love that you've gone to the Grammys and your highlight is meeting Amy Taylor from Emil and the Sniffers. That makes me very happy.
Yeah, of course.
She is an absolute legend. Of course, it's been a wild time for you. Congratulations on 2 Grammys. What does it feel like when they call out your name and you're awarded those awards for Best Alternative Album and also Best Rock Performance for Chase Lounge? Like, what was that like in that moment?
This is so funny. Thanks so much. What are we doing here? I don't know, but here we are. This year has been so surprising. Like, starting this band has been like such a surprise. And being on the road, we couldn't have done it without our amazing crew, and that all started with Karima Kingsley. So just want to say a really big thank you to her, and Elena, and Martin, and Lawrence, and Jordan, and just all our amazing team. Yeah, so cheers.
Didn't I just feel so bizarre? I think I was just kind of thinking I was a fly on the wall, Just like, I'm Louis Theroux, just take it all in and see what it's all about. And then all of a sudden we had to like rush to the stage in our heels, and
That's so funny, that's so accurate.
and then leave the stage and then be like, wait, 1 minute, don't go anywhere because you're also in this next category. And then all of a sudden it was like, okay, quick, and then okay, go away again, and then and
then we got whisked around like all the media bit.
It's remarkable that you go to your very first Grammys, meet Amy Taylor, but then walk out with 2 Grammys at the end of the night. An incredible achievement, well deserved as well for Wet Leg. I want to go next to your choice, Hester, because we're going to come back to Australia with a wonderful band and my favourite song from them. I'm so excited that you chose the Lazy Eyes Fuzz Jam. We're talking about A Wild Year. Where does this take you? Why did you choose this particular song from the Lazy Eyes?
the moment we heard it, it was just like, holy smokes, this song is it's just so good. And Dan Carey showed us this song pretty much like in the first couple of days of going into the studio to record the album. So it's kind of like, to me, it's like affiliated with like that very strange time. But then also it's just something that was just really just great to listen to all the time. And Ellis would like play it in sound checks, like in between like playing songs and stuff. He'd just like start ripping this bass line. And then, yeah, the memory like just gets better and better because when we came to Australia last year, we miraculously got to support them as part of like a undercover Splendor in the Grass, like, well, we got rained off on the Friday and And so it was like, oh, like, what are we going to do? And yeah, this gig just kind of miraculously happened. And meeting the guys was really rad. Like, they were so talented and nice. We played a couple of shows with them again in Sydney. Yeah, they're just so good. Also, that Bee Gees cover that they did for Triple J is so rad. Yeah, they're just right on my street, right up Boulevard Street.
Right on your street. I love that.
Yeah. Do you say that in Australia?
No, I've never heard that
really?
before.
That's right.
So it's like saying it's your vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right on my street.
It's right on
I'm
my
going to use
street
that.
too.
Thank you.
No worries.
I know that you guys have done a lot of interviews over the last year or so, but for anybody who doesn't know, you grew up on the Isle of Wight, a beautiful part of the UK, and very much for an outsider like me, known for its famous music festival that happens every year. Did you guys go along to the Isle of Wight festival each year?
Well, the original Isle of Wight festival was for I think it was 3 years, from 1969, and I think that's the one that's got worldwide, because Hendrix and Dylan played there. The festival that we knew, or that still happens today, is a big pop music festival, and I think all the years we went, we kind of got free tickets.
I never paid for a ticket for that festival.
Yeah, we always managed to wrangle our way in on our friends' bands and things, and then have a cheeky rest of the weekend to see some music, which we didn't really get to do for the rest of the year. On the island, is not a touring destination for bands, so if you wanted to see anything any other time of the year except for Isle of Wight Festival and Festival, you'd have to go on the ferry and the train and do it that way. It got a bit expensive as young people. I saw Fleetwood Mac.
Amazing.
So Blondie. Lots of heritage acts.
Having that experience of seeing that live performance in your own backyard as well, and particularly, as you say, Hester, not, being able to necessarily see live music so regularly without having to take a big trip, take the ferry. Did that influence you as performers as you started making your own music and thinking about how you would go up on stage, what songs and stories you would share? Do you think it had a formative influence in you growing up with the Isle of Wight Festival?
I feel like going to Isle of Wight Festival and Festival gave us an appetite for festivals. And certainly when Hester and I started Wet Leg, it was after a summer of playing a few festivals, some on the Isle of Wight, some small ones on the mainland. And this was before starting Wet Leg. This was with another band. And then when that band kind of came to an end, we realised we really enjoy gallivanting around festivals. So let's start a new band called Wet Leg, where we both play guitar. Because I didn't play guitar at the time. And then we kind of wrote a set that was about 20 minutes so that we could get booked for a half-hour set, and we could
do teddy bear rolls for 5 minutes.
And we somehow managed to wangle our way into getting booked for a few other gigs. And then lockdown happened.
But through lockdown, you released a record and now you're playing hundreds of shows and festivals all over the world. I feel like this is another moment of serendipity that Wet Leg form a band so you can trek around and travel and play these festivals, and this is exactly what's happened. That's an incredible achievement. That's some real intentional thinking going on there.
Some manifestation.
Manifestations for the win. Have you grown as performers, do you think? What have you learned over the last year of having played, I don't know, close to 200 shows in the last year? So how do you feel about yourself then and now if you're thinking about this kind of taking stock of this wild year?
Having done so many shows, I have noticed that sometimes I will be very, very scared and very nervous, and sometimes I will be less scared and kind of quite happy and confident. And I don't know what it is that makes, I don't know what the attributes are that make it that way. It's not about it being a bigger show or a smaller show. It's just sometimes you just get out of bed and it's a scary gig day, and then sometimes you get out of bed and it's a less scary gig day. But I think it's so nice having the opportunity to play together as much as we have, because we've definitely, when we recorded the album, we didn't have the band that we have now. That came after finishing the album. We're a tightly knitted bunch. And I think our playing has got a lot tighter as well, which is very cool.
I don't know, speak for yourself. I feel like every single gig I'm just holding on for dear life, trying to not have a breakdown or be oh no, I made a mistake and everyone knows. And then that makes you make more mistakes because you're thinking about it. I don't know, still a work in progress. But
spiraling. Delicious. Love it.
Well, Hester, you can't tell from where I sit. You guys always sound incredible live. And that is why, alongside your amazing record, which has won multiple awards, everyone loves Wet Leg. And I want to take a turn towards drum and bass, which is really making a resurgence of late, and I'm here for it. Your next pick is by a duo called Peary and Tommy. Rian, this is your choice. Soft Spot. Tell me about what this duo, and for anybody who doesn't know, and why you chose this song, how this fits into your wild year.
I chose it because Tommy Villiers plays the anti-hero in our video for the song Your Mum.
Right.
And so kind of takes me back to the time that we were shooting Your Mum. That sounds bad.
As a sentence, Your Mum is a song by Wet Leg, which you've heard. There is no violence against parents here.
No.
You were shooting a film clip for your mum. There you go, saved.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, a music video that we shot with another great artist in their own right, Lava LaRue. And it was probably one of our early experiences getting to collaborate with other people in making our videos, because before this we'd just with Chaise Long and Wet Dream and Angelica and Oh No, or apart from actually Lava did work on Oh No a little bit. But anyway, this song reminds me of that time when we were shooting the video for Your Mum with Tommy and Lava LaRue, and it was a really good time and a very busy time.
Was Tommy a friend of yours, or was he someone that you'd met through music?
No, he was actually Lava's recommendation, because Lava had been to a gig to see him and Peary in the outfit that they are together. You know, they're a couple. They're the cutest couple. They're so cute.
Their origin story is super cute as well. Didn't they slide into each other's Instagram DMs, and that's how they met?
I didn't know that.
That's modern love.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's pretty cute.
Yeah.
And they've made amazing music together as well.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, have amazing times in their personal life. I don't know, but, you'd hope they'd be happy as well there. This is a great song. I love this. We're kind of going through a potted history of Wet Leg and the gorgeous tentacles, the serendipity of the connections to their music worlds. And Peary and Tommy. Tentacles. Did you like that? Gorgeous tentacles?
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. I just couldn't let it go by.
We're both teaching ourselves each other things, Hester. We're all learning today. This year, I guess, as we sort of track through the last really kind of 2 or 3 years for you, has been so wild. You've been pretty much on the road the whole time. Dare I ask, has there been any new music in the works? Are you the kind of band that write music while you're touring, or is that something to push further down the road when you get a break?
Do you know what? I actually put in the group chat today with our management. I was like, instead of all this promo, how about you book us in for writing sessions?
So I'm actively taking away from the second Wet Leg record right now, and I've just been made very aware of that. Thank you, Rian. But it's a fair point. You do a lot of interviews, and when does the creativity get to flow? When do you find time for that?
Yeah, I don't know. Not that I'm not having a nice time now. It's very nice being here, talking about music.
I'm glad. There is that thing, though, where, you have to sort of experience life in order to write about it. One of the things I love about your first record, your debut record, is that it feels like it captures the everyday in such a beautiful way. It's so conversational. I can picture these moments in my head. How different is your everyday now? Are you having these same moments or similar moments that you think you'll capture in the same conversational way for the next incarnation of Wet Leg?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we've got this experience, like the life that we're living now, and then we've also got the lives that we were living before to draw from. And I think that's one of the nicer things about getting older, is that you just have a more vast experience to draw from. It's my birthday next month.
Oh, okay. Is this a significant birthday, Rian?
I'm turning 30.
Oh!
So I've been thinking about it.
Have you ever heard of Saturn's return? Have you heard of the concept of Saturn's return?
No, tell me.
It's a bit of a hippie concept, but there's this idea that when you're about to turn 30 in that period leading up, the planets are aligned in the exact same way they were when you were born. And this is a period of great reflection of, what am I doing with my life? Where should I be? Am I on the right path? I think it's just turning 30. But there is a bit of a hippie concept around Saturn's return. Have you been ruminating on, particularly with, what's gone on in the last couple of years, where you at right now? Are you happy with your life? Sorry, we just went into psychotherapy territory, didn't we?
But yeah, I'm very happy. I'm doing the thing that I love, and I have a lot of love in my life. So yeah, feeling pretty loved up.
Love that. Hester, are you happy? I feel like I need to ask you as well. This is a shared therapy session we're having.
I mean, I'm only 29 and my birthday's not till next year. So I don't feel
Your time will come, my friend.
Speak on it just yet.
Your time will come. Well, from an outsider's perspective, it seems like things are going very, very well. And I do hope you get some time to reflect on that. If not just for yourselves, for also your band and your creativity, to maybe think about the stories that are going to be making it into the next record. But no pressure from me at all. Take your time, enjoy your life.
It's going to be about gorgeous tentacles.
If there is a song on the next Wet Leg album called Gorgeous Tentacles, let it be known that this is where that was born. I want to go into your next choice, which is another beautiful songwriter who has an amazing voice, and again, a gorgeous way with melody as well. Her name's J Pearson. We play a lot of Katie here on Double J too. You've chosen Fix Me Up, Hester. Where is this taking you? Where are we going in your wild year with this song?
This takes me back to backstage of like all the gigs basically last year, where we would just have it on in the dressing room, and even like on our way to backstage, and we'd all just be singing it, like the boys too. It's just such a good song, and Katie's got the most amazing voice, and yeah, just good memories and a great song.
Is this something that's on the playlist backstage, or are you just singing it out? Yeah, right. So you've got the music to get you vibed?
Pre-show playlist. I think all of the songs we've picked are on our pre-show playlist, which is nice to have.
Yeah, because we could just give you a whole playlist and we could just be like, this is what we've heard pretty much every other night.
This is ingrained in your brain and your hearts. This is the soundtrack to your last year.
Yeah. A warm blanket.
I want to ask, given that, the last little while has been such an explosion for you, is it hard to say no to things? When these opportunities come up, is it really hard to sort of go, oh, what do I choose? A day off or doing this thing that, might never come around again?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It's like everything we're doing is like the first time, but also could be the last time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not to get nego about it.
I don't think it's nego. I think it's just very real.
Trying to, not let it pass us by. I don't know.
I think it is really hard to say no to things, even things that aren't even exciting, even just like really boring promo.
Which, of course, this is
like
not.
This.
Okay, thank you.
This is
just
really nice.
making that clear.
But, like even that, it's like we're so lucky to be in the position that we're in. I think like the year that we've had to like learn to say no to things that, like self-preservation is a thing. And so it's like really hard to know ourselves. And so we're really lucky. We have a really amazing day-to-day manager, Elena, who kind of like, she knows us better than we know ourselves. So she'll be like, I think this is probably like, this is a bit of a wild day for you guys.
One of you's going to cry if we do this.
It's good having those people in our lives,
big,
isn't it?
We're big criers. We love to cry. So it's not hard saying yes to the exciting things that might not come back around again. That's quite an easy yes. We're like, okay, we'll be tired, but yes, we'll do it. It's more like we want to work really hard and like make the most of how well things are going, you know, like make hay whilst the sun shines. And so I think that has been like the hardest thing, is like learning to say no to things that maybe we don't need to do, maybe we're not excited about, but we feel like we ought to do because we're so lucky to be in this position, kind of thing.
It's tricky, isn't it?
Yeah.
The tenuous life of an artist as well. But now you are Grammy award-winning, Brit award-winning artists, #1 record holders for your debut album. I feel like you can say no more. But maybe, Elena's the person who should be saying that. She's the boss. How important is your friendship in terms of keeping you grounded when things feel a little bit like they're spiralling? Knowing each other and knowing each other well before all of this blew up, how important is the relationship between you two?
It's very important because sometimes we can both spiral out together and that's a good time.
Yeah, do you know what I find weird is sometimes when we do like a 20-hour travel day, I'm in my headphones for most of it. We don't talk, or even like longer than that.
Yeah.
Because everyone on the crew, I think, is a bit the same. You're kind of in like low power mode, just because you're like gonna be a bit uncomfortable. Like it's not like mega uncomfortable, but like everyone knows how planes are, and I think maybe, I don't know, I'm prone to going a bit insular, and then it makes me feel weird.
Yeah, that is really weird because I know that everyone around me is present, but then they're also not present and neither am I, and we're all kind of like dotted around the plane because everyone chooses like an aisle seat or a window seat, so we're never sat in a row.
You got to store those credits. You spend a lot of time together.
Yeah.
As a group, you got to store those credits. And you've got one more tune to share with us. And as I mentioned, you each had 2 to choose and then picked one song together. I love this too because I don't know Faux Real.
You are in for a treat.
So thank you for introducing me to this song by a Franco-American duo, I believe. Tell me a little bit about Faux Real before you say, why you've chosen this song in particular. Who are Faux Real?
Virgil and Elliot are their names.
And it all began a long time ago. I think around, it was like before we
were at the Domino House.
Yeah, and we were listening to them a bunch, and they're so creative and fun.
And they're a duo. And I think when we started Wet Leg, we were looking at a lot of
like The Garden
duos.
And For Real, they were like up there with like what we were listening to most, I think.
Yeah. And we DM'd them like in the really early days. Like they do these really cool dance moves, and one of like in their music videos are so good. They direct them themselves. But like they put their hands like down their trousers. They put their hands down their trousers and through their flies, and they shake hands, and that's like this little bit in the music video.
Yeah.
So it kind of is like your like hand dick is like shaking the other hand.
I'm sorry, hand dick?
Hand dick.
I just loved it so much that we would take videos of us doing the dance moves and send them to them, being like, oh, how do we get to be friends?
This is how you had outreach. You want to be friends, so you sent videos of yourself doing the hand dick move. Great, love
like
that.
Annoying little sister vibes where you just like really want your like older siblings to like notice you.
And they actually replied, and like we were so stoked. I think we like sent them like a couple of clips of like us doing the dance moves, and was like, "Are we doing it right?" And they were like, "Sort of." And like we were just like so stoked that they like acknowledged our existence in that moment.
Yeah. And
then fast forwards, like
we went to America.
Sorry.
And they came on tour with us.
Oh wow.
And honestly, if you ever get to see them live, you must do it. They're so good.
That's so good.
I could just say, I can't really like be productive with my words about them because I just get like this mushy, gushy heart.
Yeah.
About I thought you got an electric shock then.
Sorry.
It's all right. It's the coffee. It's the milk. Milky throat.
Yeah.
Another beautiful moment of serendipity, though, for Wet Leg. To have this, fan moment, and then all of a sudden you guys are on tour again as well. This is beautiful. Bo Real, a great discovery brought by Wet Leg as Rian and Hester shared their wild year across 5 songs.